time for a Richard Hudnut Extra. Here's Raymond Scott with a quintet in a dynamic version of his own composition, Powerhouse.
The legend goes that the only thing cheaper than the beer at the palace are the women.
For over 40 years, there's been only one place to catch a rock show in Thunder Bay. Well, except for Crocs. Deke's Palace. 1,000 shows. 1,000 bands. 1,000 years.
One crochet stole my girlfriend when we got backstage to meet Rat in '85.
Deke's Palace.
This place has seen so much rock and roll brutality that I think the only thing holding the walls up are the cockroaches.
Deke's Palace.
We sure did get ripped when Winger headlined the Palace in '89.
She's only 17.
The loudest band I ever saw at the Palace was Snowshoe. They received a fine from the city for noise complaints. In fact, to this day, the only noise complaints ever filed in Thunder Bay was for the Snowshoe gig.
Full kitchen service and weekend buffet. The food poisoning is legendary.
Sloan actually refused to play at Deke's Palace. Chris Murphy took one look at the place, and next thing you know, they were booked at Crocs instead. I'm not sure how that went down, but they say Murphy refused to touch anything with his bare hands.
And now, you can see the history for yourself on the big screen in Deke's Palace, the movie. A documentary directed by James Cameron. Deke's Palace, the movie. Coming soon to a bowling alley near you. Hey everybody,
Welcome to the April 1st, 2022 LeBrain Train. Yes, it's April Fool's Day. There, we're in focus now. It's April Fool's Day, and that was, when did I make that? I made that in 2020. April 1st, 2020 was when I made the Deeks Palace trailer. Come a long way since then. But this is the first April Fool's Day prank show that we've ever done. Last April 1st, we did... which was a Thursday, actually, we did an interview with Max the Axe. And that was the very first time we had Max the Axe on the show. But this is the first time we're doing it like an actual April Fool's Day prank show. We're going to have on my buddy Chris, who is an expert pranker. We're going to, we actually, back when the show first started, got prank phone calls on the show. So we'll be rerunning those prank phone calls, getting commentary from the guy who made them. What else? Lots of stuff. We're going to do our Jackass prank top 10, Cinco de Listo for Jackass pranks. And because, never mind why, but I left my list at work. So I don't have my list. I'm going to make it up on the fly as we go today. I remember some of the ones that I picked. But we also have a list from Michael Morwood, who will be joining us via video. It's going to be a fun show, and it's going to be Chris's very first time on the LeBrain Train, and hopefully not the last. We do have an unboxing to do from Japan. Rob Daniels' favorite part of the show. Say hello if you're watching, Rob. This is a Japanese import CD by one of my favorite bands. Can you guess? Can you guess, Mr. Sar? I will tell you that to buy one on Discogs cost me $80, and then I had to pay another $23 in customs. So I paid over $100 for this album, and it better be good. It better be good. And if it's not, I'm blaming John T. Snow, the Snowman. It is not Bon Jovi. I don't know if there are any Bon Jovi CDs that I would be willing to pay $103 for at this point, because I have my Bon Jovi collection pretty solid, except for the later years. So I'm pretty happy there. No, it's not Bon Jovi. It is. See if you can you see it? Can you see it? I know that if you know this album, you can recognize the cover through the bubble wrap. Yes, it's The Sound of Music. We'll be talking a bit about this gentleman, Rick, tonight. Oh, shit, I got to get those pictures that you sent me. Okay, so. Any guesses yet? We there yet? The new Darkness album, Motor Heart. The bonus track on this one is a song called The Age of Darkness. It also has all the same bonus tracks as, I believe, the deluxe edition domestically. So let's run through them quickly, shall we? Welcome to Glasgow. Welcome to Glasgow. It's love, Jim. Motor Heart. The power and the glory of love. Jussie's girl. Sticky situations. Nobody can see me cry. Eastbound. Speed of the night time. Night spelled N-I-T-E. You don't have to be crazy about me, but it helps. I like that title. It's a love thang. T-H-A-N-G. You wouldn't understand, in parentheses. So Long and The Age of Darkness. 13 tracks in total. So I hope this is a good album. Again, I'm going to... No, Kevin Sinister isn't on the show tonight, Chris. So that is that. I'm looking forward to Chris joining me. I first met Chris, I'm going to say about 15 years ago. And we met at work and we became pals immediately. One of the things we had in common was that we were both getting married at the exact same time. Like we were within a month of each other. So we kind of had a lot of stuff in common. Like Is that a Rick Springfield cover? I don't know if it's a cover or a parody. It's specifically called Jussie's Girl, Jussy. Anyway, like we had a lot of stuff in common. Like I'd be like, hey, Chris, is your wife currently looking at a lot of like websites such as Frugal Bride? And he'd just kind of smile and be like, yep. So, you know, going to wedding shows and stuff like this. This is not stuff that I enjoyed doing. I hated going to that wedding show. I really did. Jen, there's like a complimentary piece of cake at the end. And I was just like, I don't even want the cake, but I think Jen made me wait in line to get a piece of cake for her, not for me. I like abdicated my right to the cake, but yeah, it was just a miserable experience. Anyway, long story short, Chris and I became pals at work, and he's the guy that insists to this day that Chinese democracy is a fiction. It's not out, and it never will come out, and it's not coming out at any point. He just, no, I don't, man. I don't even like cake. I keep telling people, like my mom every year be like, what kind of cake do you want for your birthday? I'm like, Mom, I don't even want cake. You know, like, can we have like, just like, I don't know, steak? Which Chris is also a big fan of, you know, beef and steak and all kinds of good food. Makes a mean hamburger himself. He's quite proud of his own homespun hamburgers. And one of the things that we kind of share is we're both a bit OCD, but in different ways. Mine manifests slightly differently from his. He has a lot of OCD about movies, for example. So like if he likes a couple of Police Academy movies, he has to own every Police Academy movie. If he likes a couple of the American Pie. Yes, that's what it is. American Pie. I know, but I just don't like cake. That's all. I just don't like cake. Anyway, I've spoken enough. Let's run the theme song, and then we shall welcome Chris to the show. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and all others, to the Friday, April 1st, very first prank show on the LaBrain Train.
One-way ticket to anywhere and a glazed donut to go. The Brain Train. The Brain Train. All aboard.
Boy, if he doesn't think Chinese democracy is out yet, this one's really going to blow his mind. Please welcome Chris.
The Brain Train is proud to present Chris Toos.
Yep, no one can say my last name.
I was expecting more of a reaction from you, actually. I specifically requested that he pronounce it that way as the first prank of the night.
Yep.
Because that's not how your name is pronounced as Rick coaches. So the story goes, that's an inside joke. One of our bosses always pronounced his name wrong. He never, like, to the day that that Chris left work, he didn't know Chris's last name.
Oh, I'm still in contact with him, and he still pronounces it wrong.
That's insane. Anyway, so that's the joke. That's it. I was expecting you to crack up. My goal is to get you to crack up tonight.
Gotta do more than that.
Okay. So tonight we're doing our favorite pranks. And as I said in the preamble, you and I, we known each other for about 15 years.
Yep.
What was the first pranks we did on each other? I think, if I recall, it was simply farting in each other's offices.
Yeah.
That's
fart
about
and run.
The fart and run. Or as our former shipping lead hand used to call it, a game of rabbit. I fart and you grab it. Now, where the hell did that come from?
I don't know. That was him, though.
Now, that was a guy who pranked a lot.
Yeah.
Garbage bin in front of the bathroom door stall.
Yep.
Grabbing my legs from underneath the gap underneath the door and trying to pull me off the toilet. Okay, here's one. I recall April Fool's Day, probably 2009, 2010. You and I both participated in a massive prank where we wrapped the front reception desk up in saran shipping wrap.
Yep.
Someone made a color photocopy of a hardcover book that was on the desk, a book about horses, and inserted the color photocopy into over the real cover.
Took the book jacket off and
hid the book jacket somewhere and drew googly eyes on the horse. Yeah. I know what you did.
She was probably the most pissed about what I did.
Yes.
Because all I did was I took dry erase markers, not even permanent, and drew all over her polar bear snow globe, just the glass.
It's a polar bear snow globe. Yeah, you drew a Superman cape on it too.
Yeah.
And I thought it was funny. She did not. However, I recall a year or two earlier, she went into a manager's office and turned everything in that manager's office upside down, from the calendars and charts on his wall to his computer. Everything was upside down.
My manager at the time.
That's right.
He was pissed. Because all his reference materials, he'd be on the phone with a customer, look over at his bulletin board to look at something. It's upside down, and he's just like,
Can you recall any other classics? Because I know there were many.
Well, the picture that always goes around, the pop can.
Right. Okay. So you were always getting on my case about stealing Jen's cans of Fresca.
Yep.
I left the office for however long, and you had covered the can of Fresca in paper, those clips.
Binder clips.
The binder clips.
About 50 of them.
It was a lot. It took me a while. It was like 3 solid layers of binder clips and it took me a while to get back to the drink.
I made it like a Christmas tree.
It was like I was looking for a picture, but I couldn't find a picture. I did find a picture of what you did to my mouse. I just need to get it. But Rick,
the bad time or the really bad time?
Just a bad time. I don't remember. To me, the one that I remember the most is Rick Coach, and he hid my mouse. I'm looking for the photo. I'm not going to find it. He hid my mouse. It was a cordless, and I spent half an hour looking for it. And it ended up, it was in my coat pocket. My coat was on the hanger. That one pissed me off, but The picture that I was looking for is you had taped my mouse down to the desk with a really, really hard to peel plastic sticker.
And that was just the bad time.
Right. The other time you covered it.
Yeah, I didn't tape it down to the desk. I just wrapped it right around the mouse.
Yeah.
And you couldn't get it off.
No. It was like when you're in high school and you pull a prank like wrapping a guy's lockup in duct tape, layers and layers of duct tape. You know, it's like he's not getting into his locker until the second period.
The one prank I remember is why you stopped leaving your car keys in your coat. Because
you guys would.
I would pop.
You'd open my trunk, wouldn't you? You'd pop my trunk
all the way out. Go to close it. You get about halfway to the door. I'd pop it again. You'd be screaming out there. You're getting so mad. It took you a long time to learn. Stop leaving your keys in your coat.
You were teaching me.
It was a teachable moment.
It was a teachable moment. I remember stealing all your gum. You were the gum source. You were the only one who had gum.
I always had that tub of gum in it.
Yeah.
Sadly, sometimes I think they come with like 60 in it, and sometimes it wouldn't even last a week.
Yeah, because Danny would come in and steal your gum.
Rick Coach would too. He always took 3 or 4 at a time.
Danny left a paper towel soaked in sardine oil in the corner of my office, stuffed in a piece of metal sampling.
You never did find the other one.
Well, they must have, because the office has been gutted, basically cleaned.
Oh yeah, they would have found it by now.
Yeah. Fuck, there were so
what
many.
About when
I remember.
You called him
look at this guy. Not everything. We clearly said some of the things were Danny.
Yeah, not everything, just what you did.
Just what you did, exactly. He definitely did the thing to my mouse. Oh, do you remember? I had that like wrist pad on my keyboard, and it was getting really ratty, and I was holding it together with yellow labels, and you guys would constantly hide it and throw it in the garbage and all kinds of other stuff.
Oh, we just used to take that top piece off your desk and just start hitting your monitor with it till you almost started crying.
Oh my God, that was what you would do, actually. And the funny thing is, that was the big fat monitors. Because remember, it was like beating on a giant fucking anvil or something.
Yeah.
It's hard to believe, but that wasn't that long ago, Chris. And the standard was a fairly large box monitor that was basically as deep as it was wide.
Yep. And
today, my computer consists of a laptop about the size of this keyboard and a beautiful dual monitor setup, flat screens, and that's only 10 years.
Yeah. One other prank I can think of is we called him Happy.
Yep.
When he walked up and you had a desktop computer at the time, and he just walked up and goes, yoink, and pulls the power cord out.
In the middle of a call with a customer.
Yep. Just out of nowhere.
I don't even know if I should really be posting these comments here. That sounds deadly. Oh my God. What the hell, man? We're talking office pranks, and this guy's talking about pigeons and sodium bicarbonate. Holy crap. I might have to look that one up on the periodic table of elements. We were not that destructive. We very rarely destroyed anything.
Actually, speaking of microwave, I remember one thing I always used to do to you. Every time you warmed up your lunch, you'd be sitting there. I'd walk up to the microwave, look straight at you, and just start pressing the add 30 seconds. Give you like 10 minutes.
Yeah, because you knew I was anal about how long I cooked my Michelinas. It had to be exactly to the instructions.
Salisbury steak crap you used to eat.
Oh, God. Well, I'm not that much better now, but we'll
at least
get into
you
that.
only ate the turkey dinner thing once.
They were so dry. They were basically inedible. But, we can't really get into the lunchtime habits, because then if we do, we have to mention the 2 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and the 3 cookies with the drink box of apple juice. Did I get that right?
OCD.
But did I get it right?
Oh, yeah.
And I remember one detail, and it was so lovable, to be honest with you, but there was one detail. It was when you guys got down to the end of the box of the Oreos.
No.
No, chocolate chip.
Chocolate chip.
And Lori would give you 4 in your lunch instead of 3, and you would always give away the extra cookie because you only had 3.
I have really horrible OCD.
Hey, but I thought it was awesome. I mean,
Yeah.
it was comforting. It was comforting.
Yeah.
It was one of those things that was just as steady as the Northern Star. And then immediately after lunch, we get back to pranking. And I'm trying to think.
How we got anything done at that place was, I don't know.
You know, I had a really nice loose attitude at that time, even though there was a lot of like really serious projects going on and constantly like VPs walking around the office. It was a good atmosphere. It was a positive atmosphere. And
Most of the time.
now, you remember Simon. Yeah, most of the time. And you remember Simon, for his birthday several years ago, they filled his office from floor to ceiling with balloons. And he got to work that day and he's like, oh my God, like, where's my desk?
It was about 4 feet deep in balloons.
It was insane.
I've been wishing him a happy
few years ago,
since,
if you remember that.
I've been wishing him a happy Sweet 16 ever since I worked with him.
Because he's so young looking.
He still looks young.
Yeah. He's got that ageless kind of thing. Yeah, you look at pictures of him from like 10 years ago, he's the same guy. Unlike, like that picture that you see behind us is from over 10 years ago, I think, right?
Oh, yeah. Well,
that was from
still working there.
That was from one of our annual Christmas dinners where Lori would always make us take pictures.
Yeah.
And I guess that time I was being stubborn and refused to take a nice picture.
We never did. We had the one nice picture and then we just send him about 4 of just us being
the shitty ones.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but we did have a good time. I think I'm trying to think of some more of the pranks. Instead of trying to think of more pranks, we're at the 15-minute mark. So why don't we introduce our guest contributor tonight, who's Michael Morwood, who couldn't make it tonight, but pre-recorded all of his bits. Let's go to Michael Morwood, and then I can discuss the next subject that I wanted to tackle. But ladies and gentlemen, here is legendary prankster Michael Morwood from earlier this week. So joining me today for the April 1st prank special, we have Michael Morwood right here.
How's it going, everyone?
Welcome.
Good to be back.
We're here to talk about pranks.
Oh, the best.
And you have some history.
Oh, a little bit.
You want to start maybe just by telling us about some of your history with the prank medium?
Oh, my escapades, yes. Well, I could start by talking about probably the most heinous prank I've ever committed, I guess. So back in 8th grade, I think it was about 8th grade, it was the last month of school, and I took the bus home with my buddies. But coincidentally, a couple weeks beforehand, I had stopped in a shop at Grand Bend Beach and picked up a package of stink bombs. Not the foil ones, like I'm talking about the little glass ones that you physically have to stomp with your feet. And for some reason, we thought it'd be a great idea to set off a stink bomb on a moving bus. Little to say that it stopped the bus. It wasn't just everybody going to go, ooh, that stinks. The bus driver physically pulled over and stopped the bus and had everybody roll down their windows. Yeah, I sufficiently created a bit of a gas chamber that day.
Did you fess up?
Oh, I got off clean.
You got off clean?
I got off clean. I walked off the bus that day.
Good for you.
And nobody said a word.
Good for you. That's fantastic. Geez, the worst kind of stuff that we did for pranks back in grade school was like Nicky Nine Door.
Oh no, that was I did that a few times, but I never really got into that with my buddies. But that was probably the worst one that we ever did, and that was probably the last time we ever did something like that.
And where can one buy these stink bombs?
Oh, you can just get them anywhere that sells fireworks. A lot of the time has them, or like hobby shops, or like little like knickknack stores. Like I said, I'm at Grand Bend Beach, so
There
yeah.
you go, kids. I've never done anything like that.
I don't remember who, but one kid in our high school did that. He had a stink bomb, same one of those glass ones, and he got sent to the office. And as he went in, he dropped it on the carpet, and he squished it and turned his foot so it just put it right nicely into the carpet. They couldn't use the office for like a week.
Shit. You know what? I think I have to confess to probably the worst prank I did in high school. This is the first time I've publicly confessed this. Mom, I hope you're not watching. Grade, say 12. The way our high school was shaped was like a V. And in the middle of the V was the smoking area. And we called it the void. And we used to eat our lunch in a science lab in one of the corners on the second or third floor, or whatever. I think it was 2 floors. And I decided that I was just going to start horking out the window at the smokers. And I got away with this a number of times. You know, a lot of them might have thought it was raining, but one time this guy fucking came up to the science room. It's like, somebody's horking on us down there. Oh shit. Somebody's horking on us down there. I want to know who. And we blamed it on this guy, Michael Wright. There was a third-party mediator, Tim Soley. And he was like the guy in high school that was friends with everybody. So Tim Soley's like, I got you, Mike. I'll take care of this. So he's like, yeah, it was Michael Wright who did it. And he's like, I'm going to fucking kill him. Where is he? He's like, oh, he's downstairs in the computer room. And he went downstairs to the computer room. And he's like, you were fucking spitting on us from the second floor. If I ever get you doing that, I'm going to fucking kick your ass. And he's like, I didn't. He's like, yes, you were. He's like, who told you that? And he goes, Tim Soley told me that. And he says, you believe Tim Soley? And he goes, yeah, I believe Tim Soley. And I was just like, fucking got away with it. So that's the worst thing that I ever did for pranks in high school. And I almost got my ass kicked. But I owe Tim Soley my ass. Do you have anything you want to confess to, or are you just going to plead the fifth tonight?
I'm pleading the fifth.
Okay, fair enough. And Chris, sorry, yes, I could have blamed Bobby May, but that would have been... Michael Wright was an easier target, to be honest with you. Bobby May was this churchy kid.
So I have one thing to show you.
Okay.
You always wear a band shirt, so I put a band shirt on.
Oh, did you? Oh, yeah! Carrie Underwood, yeah! That's awesome.
I had to put something on.
Did you see her, Lori?
Lori did. She's seen her a couple times.
Cool. I don't know how you feel about concerts presently. There's a lot of mixed feelings about it, but I have bought tickets to go see Coney Hatch on April 22nd at Maxwell's. So roll of the dice.
I have an opinion that wouldn't be very popular in this group. Even before COVID, I never really liked going to concerts.
Well, no, I don't like crowds. And I think we kind of share a lot of that.
Yep.
But this is something that I've been kind of working to try to overcome. And my work to overcome it got halted at the very start because of COVID. So I went to one concert that I committed that I wanted to go start seeing concerts again in the year 2020. I went to see my sister play it live in January of 2020, and then COVID happened. Yep. So this is me trying to get back on the wagon, so to speak. I guess we're going to ignore Rick's comment.
Yes, it is my wife's shirt.
Oh, man. Okay, so moving on. prank phone calls is going to be part of tonight's subject matter because, to make a long story short, 'twas Michael Morwood and an accomplice who made the original prank phone calls here on this show back in March and April of 2020. So we're going to be talking about those, but I'm just curious if you have any personal history with prank calls.
Not much.
Really?
All the like I said when we were talking over email, is even when I was a kid, when we were pranking, I like face-to-face pranks.
Okay. Gotcha. So I hope you can appreciate some of this. My friend Bob and I used to do prank calls like mad in the pre-call display days. And at first it was just really, really innocent stuff. Like we would look up a name in the phone book and make a pun on the name. So I remember one time the guy's name was Hans. Bob got on the phone. Hans and feet. I have Hans and feet. That was the whole call.
Yeah.
Another time we called somebody up whose last name was Price. So of course, come on down, the price is right. And of course the same thing, all the same jokes about, you know, is your refrigerator running? Well, you better go get it, you know. But we did a lot of those basically. And again, Mom is watching. I think it was Thursday nights. My sister had dance classes. So my mom, my dad, and my sister were all out of the house for about 2 hours on Thursday nights. And Bob would come over. We'd go get a bag of chips and a bottle of pop. And we'd make prank phone calls all Thursday night. It was awesome. We had so much fun. But Michael Morwood did different kinds of prank calls from the kinds that we did. Things have gotten more sophisticated since then. So I would like to run for you a series of 3 prank calls that he made over, it looks like 2 shows in total. Here is Michael Morwood's first prank call. So I'm going to take us to prank phone calls.
Oh, all right.
I'm going to run what I believe are 3 prank phone calls that you were personally responsible for.
Yes,
but let's get your reaction. We're going to run 3 prank phone calls. Here is prank phone call number 1. Hello? Hello? Oh, it's special. Yeah, man, go ahead.
Now, since the passage of the Patriot Act, our agency has been granted extraordinary powers in the pursuit of terrorists and other threats to national security. I'm sure you're aware of this. That includes the ability to monitor electronic and digital information exchanges, such as email and internet use. You following me?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Now, the reason for my call is that in the course of one of our investigations, and I cannot obviously reveal any details of that investigation, but in that course, we had reason to monitor the internet usage at your address. You understand? Uh-huh. Now, the results show that someone at your address is using the internet to view quite graphic images of a sexual nature, images that are not legal under American law. Now, were you aware of this? Well, you'll get a chance to make a full statement later. Our agents will be entering your home shortly. They will be seizing your computer, any related media, and conducting a thorough search. I suggest strongly that you cooperate with them. You've just been pranked, courtesy of prankowl.com.
Okay, which one of you guys did this?
That's so fucking awesome.
Oh, too good.
Well, which one of you guys did do it?
That was me and Seb.
It was Seb too.
It was Seb too. Yeah, he was the one who introduced me to that service way back. Like I must have been like 9 or 10 years old, which is not a good thing to show a 9 or 10-year-old. But that's around when he showed me that, and I've been using it ever since.
Well, I admit it's not the first time I ever got that particular phone call.
Oh no!
But that was very good. That was definitely unexpected on that night.
That's good.
So I like I said, I've had that phone call before. I don't know if someone's ever sent that one to your phone.
No, I don't remember if I've had that one or not. Usually, when someone calls and I know it's either a junk call, I just hang up.
That reminds me of one that came out. Remember the movie Snakes on a Plane?
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember one of the marketing campaigns was there was a number you could call and send a phone call from Samuel L. Jackson to any number you wanted. So I received a number of these calls where it's like, hello. And it was really Samuel Jackson recording. Hello, this is Samuel L. Jackson. I'm calling to tell you about my new movie, Snakes on a Plane. It's badass, or whatever, whatever he was saying about the movie. And I like, that was kind of a prank call to me, but a really, really fun one. Even though, but got the movie so overhyped.
Oh, yeah. It was terrible.
Is that a one watcher for you?
Oh, yeah.
Not in the collection?
Nope.
Are there any movies in your personal collection that you've never watched? Like, and never really want to watch? Because they came in a set and,
Nope, I've seen them all.
Nice. Good for you. I can't even say that.
Yeah. So, speaking of prank calls.
Yes.
Reminded me of one from when it actually didn't happen to me. It happened to my brother.
Okay.
And it was someone called him. We had replaced this liner in a big pond, and we were burning just some scraps, and it created black smoke. Like, I was just from out in the country, so you're allowed to burn, so we were just burning it, and it was creating just this black smoke, a god awful amount of it. And all of a sudden, my brother gets a call. This is the Ministry of the Environment. What the hell are you burning? And he's like 15 at the time. He's like, And all of a sudden, the guy just starts laughing. And it's just like, oh, it was one of my parents' friends.
Oh my God. And yet you were living out in the sticks back then.
Oh yeah, out in the middle of nowhere.
Literally in the middle of nowhere.
I was one of those people that my address was the closest town. Like, my address said I technically lived in that town, but it was like 10 minutes away.
Right. So you can picture, if you've driven through rural Ontario, I don't know if that was me or not. If you've driven through rural Ontario, sorry, just one moment. You know exactly what kind of house he's talking about. There's always that one, and then finally the town.
Yeah.
That was you.
Yep.
And like, there were more tractors coming down your streets than cars on some days. A lot of talk going on here about Pam and Tommy. I don't know if you've seen it. It's really good. Hey, Teddy Graham. Let's tell the Teddy Graham story, shall we? So, Chris, you just had a daughter, your first.
Yeah.
Teddy Graham had just had his first offspring. I don't remember if it was I think it was also a daughter. Regardless, you were both at Walmart at the same time buying diapers that were on sale.
Yep.
And I was with you to buy Transformers for myself. And Teddy Graham made a comment to us about, hey, look at Tweedledee and Tweedledum over there. Look at you guys, that kind of thing. And subject matter obviously turned to diapers because you just both had children and that's what you were there to buy. And Teddy's mother told us a story about young Teddy Graham. Oh, Teddy, he used to love wiping his hands in his own poop and smearing it on the walls. Ah, shit. And Ted goes, Mom, you don't have to tell these guys. And it was literally one of the greatest things that ever happened to us at work because we had ammunition against Teddy from that point.
We couldn't get back to work fast enough.
Oh my God. Anyway, Pam and Tommy is awesome. Teddy Graham is an awesome guy though.
Yeah.
He's still an awesome guy. I still see him sometimes. He drops by at work. And I'm sure there were many pranks that involved him, but I can't remember them specifically. Oh, well, here's a surprise. Did not expect this. I didn't think you were going to be able to make it tonight, Mr. Meat.
Hello, gentlemen.
Now, you remember Chris.
Yes.
I know Chris remembers you.
It rhymes with he witnessed the open door piss.
Yep.
He's the only person who's ever been on the show that was there that night.
So I have breaking news. Breaking news on the LeBrain train right now.
Oh no!
Contrary to reports that you've heard, I actually got the leading role in G.I. Jane 2.
I can see this.
Yeah, so
looking good.
Yeah, there it is.
Have you noticed as well?
Yeah, you lopped it off, eh?
It's fun because I taped the Michael Morwood clip with full beard, and you can really tell the difference.
Yeah. So I'm not on long, but I just wanted to give one quick prank phone call story that I had to share.
Okay.
Me and my buddy used to do a lot of them. We were like 14, 15, 16 area. And back then it was a big deal that my parents had got a cordless speakerphone. So it was like it changed the game because now the other guy could hear the person. And the best one we did, and we planned it hard. So we grabbed the phone book and a map, and we found as many places that we could that were in the close vicinity to Waterloo Park, which will only make sense to people in Kitchener-Waterloo. But that's what we did, and we got a whole bunch of them. And my buddy Derek was like really good at that stuff, and so we had this all worked out that we called all these people that live in the Waterloo Park area at like 11:30 at night, at midnight or whatever. And he's like, "Hi, this is Constable Powers from the Waterloo Regional Police. Just we are calling everybody in the area to let you know that the bears have escaped from." And the bears have escaped from the zoo. That they're not so. He had this whole thing worked out. It was like, do not go inside. Do not even think of going. I don't go outside. And when he called like 13, and back then when we're just kids and being stupid, we were just loving that so many people now thought the bears had escaped because they all believed it.
Oh my God! Because
everybody believed it,
right?
Because it was so well put together, and he never broke. So it was just classic.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you're here at this exact moment, because this is the exact moment where I was going to run the second Michael Morwood prank phone call, which involved you.
Oh, yeah.
You ready?
Okay. Yeah.
Because here comes the truth from Michael. You already saw that Sebastian was involved with the first one, right?
Oh, yeah. I told you that then, man. I knew.
Oh, okay. So you knew.
I knew those guys were, lots of shenanigans.
In cahoots.
Yeah.
All right. Well, here's the second one that I'm sure you will remember fondly. I edited together 2 calls.
Is this where we introduce meat into the mix?
What's that?
Is this where we introduce meat into the mix?
This is where we introduced Mr. Meat into the mixture, and it went something like this.
Hello, you're on the LeBrain live stream. Hello, you're on the LeBrain live stream. They hung up.
What?
Oh. Hello. You're on the LeBrain live stream.
Am I?
Yep.
Go fake.
Is that Meat?
Yeah?
Hey, Meat. Okay, hang on. I'm going to put the phone down in a way that can...
Why are you calling me?
I'm not calling you.
Me?
I didn't call you. You called me. You must have pocket dialed me. This is the LeBrain live stream. LeBrain live stream.
What the hell is going on now?
I don't know, but you can hear the phone ringing that it's you calling me.
This is the second time time that my phone has rang and you called me.
I have not. You're watching me right now. You can see that I'm not calling
I
you.
don't care what I'm watching. I've been sitting here and the phone has rang twice from 2 different numbers and it's been you.
That's impossible.
It's not impossible. It's what's happening.
I don't know what to say to you, man. I haven't been calling you. Hello? I think he hung up again.
So what did you do?
So the same service that you could use to here I am giving away all the secrets. The same service that you can use to send like the pre-recorded messages. There's also a premium offering where you can make 2 numbers call each other and make the people on each end think that they're being called when in reality they're sending out a call as well.
The Meat's disbelief there was priceless.
Oh, absolutely priceless. That was exactly the reaction I wanted.
And he still probably to this day thinks that I did that.
I've tried a few times to get them throughout the last couple of years, get a couple more pre-recorded ones, and I've never been able to get it the same. So I think we got really lucky that one night. I've tried to get them to call pizza places before. I've tried pizza places and I've tried convenience stores. Oh yeah.
You're giving away all your secrets here, but that's okay.
Yes, I am. That's okay.
It's April 1st. We're passing on what we've learned. Now, when you say that was a premium service, are you saying you actually had to pay to prank phone call that one?
For that service, I think it's like $5 and you get like 20 tokens. So you get like 20 uses or 30 uses or whatever. It's not a bad deal for what it is, I guess, if you're into that kind of thing, but
it's not a bad deal for making prank phone calls. I'm flattered. I'm honestly flattered.
Oh, that's good.
I remember prank phone calls were free. You seemed legitimately mad.
I was. It didn't make any sense. Well, like I said, like you were calling me and you were acting like I was calling you. And I'm like, that's not what is happening. So it just went, it was so strange.
Well, it's safe to say that he got his money's worth on that phone call.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely got his money's worth on that, whatever he paid.
He got me on that one. There's no doubt about it.
It was so good. That was so good. That truly is the triumph. Michael Morwood's triumph is what we just witnessed there.
Oh, for sure.
I'd also like to point out the early primitive show when I had a cell phone precariously balanced between like boxes of Star Wars figures and it would constantly flip over. Yeah, good times. Good times. We could definitely have interviewed Andy Curran with that setup. Yes.
True that. True that. Well, hey,
yeah, thanks, man.
Have fun, show, guys. I just want to say hi and tell that silly story. That take care and keep on trucking.
Rock on, you legend.
Have a good one.
Let's see how.
Ciao.
Let's see how long along this time it takes me to actually sign off.
Right, like last week. It's like,
okay, I got it. Take care, guys. See ya.
See ya. That was a pretty triumphant phone call. He seemed really pissed. He was pissed. Oh, man. Okay, so let's move on to the third one. This is the final Michael Morwood prank phone call. We had figured out that it was him at this point. All right, now here's the third prank phone call, and this might have been, I don't know, maybe the funniest one to me, but this is Cat Facts.
Oh, Cat Facts.
I was well asleep, but the Hello?
Thanks for signing up for Cat Facts. You will now receive a daily phone call with a fun fact about cats. To cancel this subscription, say cancel.
Cancel. Well, I guess we don't even get any cat facts. I was hoping to get a cat fact. If you want to... Hello?
Thanks for signing up for Cat Facts.
It's Cat Facts!
A daily phone call with a fun fact about cats. To cancel this subscription, say cancel. Cats bury their feces to cover their trails from predators. That's your daily fact. Thanks for using Cat Facts.
Cancel!
I'm sorry, I didn't understand that. To stop your subscription to Cat Facts, say stop.
Stop. Michael Morwood, ladies and gentlemen. Michael Morwood.
Oh. That's probably the one I've got the most use out of the Catfax one over the years.
It's pretty universal.
Oh yeah, it can be applied anywhere. It'll make anybody confused.
Well, thank you for entertaining us during the early days of the show when we couldn't do things like this.
Of course.
I love it. I love it. I admit that I've sent cat facts to people recently.
I remember doing stuff like that. If a friend pissed you off back in the day and you had their email address.
Oh, yeah. Signing them up for stupid stuff like cat websites. Yes.
No, even worse.
Porn?
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you saw earlier. I'm not going to mention his name, but you can guess. It's one of our mutual Facebook acquaintances. Saw my post here about the prank show and goes, hey, I'm going to start tagging you in all kinds of shady Facebook pages. It goes with tonight's theme. Sure, you can guess which one of tonight's commenters it was. But anyway, he kindly agreed to stop tagging me on really, really, really bad porno on Facebook. And I thank you for that, my friend. Okay, so let's talk Jackass. It's one of the things that you and I had in common when we first started is that we both enjoyed the same kind of humor.
Yep.
When did you get into Jackass?
I got into it probably about the time when we were working together. Like, I wasn't into it right away. I wasn't into it with the show.
Right.
But I got into it probably about the second movie.
Okay. Second movie is the one that Jen and I saw in the theater together. So that gives you, we would have known each other then.
Yeah.
I was a fan from the first movie. I had the benefit of working at the record store. And basically anything came in used frequently right after a new release, and I would have access to it real cheap. So, I would be able to get Jackass movies and even the Jackass box set real cheap, real quick. And that was great. Yeah. But we've talked in the past about, people like Tom Green and whatnot. And we'll get to Tom Green in a bit. But, some of the pranks that we might have pulled as kids seemed like they carried on into some of these people like Tom Green and Bam Margera, who pranked siblings and parents and all kinds of other people, friends and whatnot. We've all done the thing where we like throw a hat on the roof of a school or whatever, and you can't get your hat,
yeah.
Or had that done to us in my case. Well, Tom Green would take it a step further, and he'd like throw his best friend's pants and clothing, all of his clothing out of an airplane. But I think I identified with like a lot of that mischievous spirit.
Yeah.
And I justified it by saying, well, all the Jackass guys, when they prank people and they cause damage, it's all compensated for by MTV. Everybody signs a release. If you see somebody's face blurred, they did not sign a release. Yeah. But there's certain satisfaction in knowing that I'm sure MTV came over and said, listen, you're on TV. It's awesome. You did great.
Everyone was a willing participant.
After the fact. Right. Yeah. But at the moment they're pissed. Yeah. We have assembled tonight lists of our top 5 favorite Jackass pranks. If you were watching during the pre-show, I left mine at work. So I'm going to go by memory.
I printed mine out on my shitty printer. That's
good for you.
I gotta get a new one.
So what shall we do? You first, me first, or we could run Michael's because he's at 5 as well. Traditionally, I go last. So
sure.
Why don't you begin with your Jackass prank number 5? Oh wait, shit! I forgot. This is a list, so we need. What? It's that.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You got my fingers in the baseball. Let's go. The pentagram made crystal.
I actually love that song.
Oh yeah, me too.
That is one of my. You know what? That is one of my favorite of all of T-Bone's songs that he's done so far, including "Open Door Piss." That is actually my favorite. I'm going to try to talk him into extending it into a full song.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so now we can proceed. Chris, you are number 5 Jackass prank.
So before I get into my number 5,
okay,
I'm going to tell you a fun fact about me and Jackass.
Okay.
I've never seen one in the theater because I know I won't be able to handle it. Because there's certain scenes that I, to this day, cannot ever watch.
Yeah.
So I know when the new movie comes out, I can't go because I'm like, there's certain scenes I can't take. Like even from the first one, them doing the paper cuts with the envelopes.
Agreed.
Nope, can't. I don't think I've ever seen that one through.
No,
I watched the very beginning and I just skip.
Yep, 100%.
Yep.
I'm on board with you.
So my number 5 was actually, it was in Jackass 3.5.
Ooh, deep cut, as we say
Yes,
on the show.
a deep cut. And it was actually done at one of the premieres for Jackass.
Okay.
And it was where Jimmy Kimmel, I mean, introduced it. And Bam and Ryan Dunn had played a prank on Johnny Knoxville. Johnny Knoxville uses cream on his face. And they had replaced it with what we'll say is horse cream. And he was good about it. He just said, I've been using that for months. I had wondered why it had gone so stringy.
Stringy! That's right, stringy! Yes!
Because even when they were putting it in the bottle, they're like, oh, it's so stringy.
That's true. He did use the stringy. Okay, so I'll confess. I've been texting here with T-Bone. Been trying to get him to do the Cat Facts prank phone call. But it's not working. It's not working. So we tried. We tried to get the Cat Facts prank phone call going, but no such luck. Thank you, T-Bone, for trying. Appreciate it. He's so helpful with doing the music and this awesome artwork behind us. T-Bone, always appreciation for you, man. All right, that's an awesome number 5. I'd forgotten it. You can understand why. Let's go to Michael's number 5. Now let's talk Jackass. You're a big fan.
Huge fan.
You saw Jackass Forever in the theater.
I did indeed. That was quite the experience. I saw it on opening night.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool. Well, I understand that you've got your top 5 list of Jackass pranks. Not stunts, mind you, but pranks.
Oh, pranks. Okay, I might have got this a little confused then.
Maybe you can improvise.
I can improvise. I could definitely improvise.
Okay.
All right. So, prank-wise, not like I'm gonna go my least favorite to my most favorite, but these are still my top 5.
Okay.
So definitely the high five prank. The rotating high five arm. I think that is just hilarious, especially with come on, the hot soup bit at the end.
What was it, Bam? They told him to get some soup.
Get a tray of soup.
I think it was Aaron McGahee. It had to be Aaron McGahee.
Yeah. Gotta bring in a tray of hot soup into the Jackass studio. I'm sure that's gonna end well. Bang.
That was Jackass 3, I believe.
I think it was Jackass 3, yeah.
Great. Actually, that's one of my favorite pranks too.
Yep.
Good one, Michael. Okay. My number 5, I also went a little bit outside of the box, somewhat like you did. And I went to Viva La Bam. Believe it was season 1. One of my favorite pranks that he pulled on Phil, his dad, was he got all of his clothes, and on every single article of clothing that Phil owned, he ironed on like a little drawing of a hamburger or a hot dog or a piece of cake. And I remember Phil's walking around in this pair of pants, and there's this little drawing of a hamburger on one of his pockets, one of his ass pockets. And I just found that so funny. He's walking around. His t-shirt has a piece of pizza on it. You can see I still find it funny. I prefer Bam when he's more innocent and less destructive.
Yeah, poor Phil.
He took a lot of abuse, and I think for my personal taste and what I find funny, Bam went over the line many times, like when he busted into the bathroom and beat the shit out of Phil while he's taking a shit. That crosses my line.
Yeah.
You would have to, if you did that to me, we would have to have some kind of intervention, you know? But I like Bam when he's more innocent and more playful, you know?
Yeah, like
That's
the
just-
one where he was setting off fireworks and stuff in their house. That one I didn't find as funny.
We'll get to that one maybe.
Yeah.
This again reminds me of things that Tom Green did, like when he painted two women, let's say, on the hood of his dad's car, and his dad walked to work that day. It's somewhat innocent, you know, like nobody got hurt.
Yes.
There was a little bit of destruction, but it was completely undoable. And, you know, I'm assuming that Tom Green paid for all of that.
Oh, yeah.
Like his parents were military. His dad's military. So I'm sure strict. And I'm sure that had a lot to do with why he kind of came out as a prankster, right? You know, I'm almost wishing maybe in the future we should do some kind of Tom Green show. But there's no doubt in my mind that he was the inspiration to so much of what we're talking about tonight.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
So number 4, your number 4.
My number 4 is from Jackass 2. And it featured...
Number 2, technically, they called it. Jackass number 2. Which is a pun.
Yeah. And it featured Danger Aaron. But there was a cameo in this.
I know which one.
By Jay Chandrasekhar. And it's where Danger Aaron plays a terrorist that is going to the Burbank airport, and Jay kidnaps him and beats the crap out of him and throws him in the trunk. And you can tell
100%.
he knew nothing about it. But
he was terrified.
I actually saw Steve-O's podcast, and Danger Aaron was on it. This was just within the last couple months. He claims he knew something was up because Jeff Tremaine had told him the night before, tomorrow we're going to do one of your pranks that you gave me like 7 years ago. Here's what it is. And so Danger Aaron was flipping through all his notes and he's like, I can't find it. So he's like, something's up. They're going to prank me. So he said he went along with it, but I still don't believe him.
There was another aspect to that prank as well. His beard.
Yes.
It was not made
came from all the cast members.
From their ball hair.
Well, Johnny Knoxville gave him some of his ass hair.
That's true. Oh man.
And the worst
that is a brilliant prank.
Someone brought crabs to the party.
That's true. Somebody did. There was, it was truly awful. And then like Aaron clearly had no idea because he's doing things like this, like going with his tongue and.
Did you have to use the ball hair? That was the part that you knew, like that, whether he was faking it for the actual prank, the hair was what made it an awesome prank.
Yes.
Because that he 100% didn't know about, and it made him throw up.
It was not just a prank that caused him to be legitimately scared, but it was also a prank that humiliated simultaneously the whole time that it is happening from beginning to end. And I think the one thing that kind of makes me laugh a bit is at the end of the stunt, when he and Jay Sanders, and thank you for remembering his name, Chandrasekhar, when they shake hands and everything, and he just kind of goes like, hey. Oh man. And for the record, Officer Ramathorn from the Super Trooper series, which you got me into. And also
took
legendary
to get you to watch it.
True. It's because I didn't like it the first time I put it in. I didn't get what was going on, but then the thing about Super Troopers is it's a prank movie. These guys are prankster cops. It's all they do. And you like, no, listen, you got to stick with it.
Yeah.
And you're like, admittedly, that first scene is weird, but once you understand what this movie is about, then you'll understand the whole beginning and why it's funny. And essentially, the whole beginning is them pranking these officers, pranking some teenagers that are smoking some doobies in a car, and making the teenagers freak out, and the cops acting completely weird. And that's Jay's Sandra. Thank you. That's Jay doing most of the talking in this scene. License and registration, please. And they're just fucking with the kids. And then I think the moment that I really kind of got the movie was when the kids are arrested. They're in the back of the police cruiser, and then some guy runs out of some dive bar with a fucking mustache.
He just goes flying by.
Right. He's clearly like killed the two cops because you hear gunshots.
Yeah.
And it's clearly the criminal coming out of the dive bar, gets into the cop car, and he turns around and he goes, "Hey, you boys like Mexico?" Woo!
Just starts doing donuts in the parking lot.
Freaking them out. I think that's the moment that I got the movie. And there's so many good pranks in that. Like they throw one officer in the locker covered in shaving cream.
Do you know the little fact about that?
I do, but I'll let you tell it.
So they were using regular shaving cream, but they had to get cases of shaving cream to fill up this whole locker with him in it. And what they didn't know is one of the cases was menthol.
Yeah.
And they said they started spraying it on him, and he was already like half covered, and his eyes just go wide because it's burning. And they had to stop, wash them all off, and then do it over again.
One of the funny aspects of that movie is you're gonna have to help me out with the names because I haven't seen him in so long. But the fat guy, Farva. He's trying to do funny pranks, but his pranks are like, there's a bar of soap in somebody's coffee. He's like, "I got you, you fucker." And it's like, wow, there's a bar of soap in my coffee. I guess I'll just get another coffee.
Oh, wow, you got me. Thanks.
Yeah. See, you know the movie better than I do.
Yeah.
But it's known as a prank kind of movie. So the connection between Terror Taxi and Chandra Sekhar. I got to say it's more slowly. Chandra Sekhar and, the Jackass crew. It all kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so where were we? Your number 4. We haven't run Michael's number 4 yet, have we? Okay,
Nope.
So here's Michael Morwood with his number 4.
Now, number 4, this is kind of a broad one. I love the shave prank. I just think it's hilarious. Too good. They got so many guys with it at this point. Like, sadly, they didn't bring it back though for Jackass Forever. I really wanted them to, and they didn't. So
I liked during the first Jackass movie that you'd see hair missing from random guys, like 3 or 4 spots even on some of these guys.
The best reaction has got to be Wee Man though.
Yep. He went ape shit.
He just gets it. Yeah, he goes straight up ape shit right away.
And the best thing is he's so small that like he can just like crawl over the car seat
right over the seat
at somebody.
Gold. Pure gold.
Awesome. Great comment down below. Rest in peace, Norm Macdonald.
Yeah.
That is a great movie.
Excellent movie. Highly underrated and was considered a flop when it came out.
I know a guy who's in that movie, and I know I've told you this story before, but I will say about Dirty Work that the pranks are quite a lot more elaborate than the kind of stuff that the Jackass guys do. But one of the best ones in the entire movie, I know you will agree with me, was when they're working at the movie theater, and they decide to prank the boss, the owner, who's played by Don Rickles, I believe.
Yes.
And they decide to get revenge on him by switching the film Men in Black with a porno called Men in Black Having Sex with Each Other. So good on Norm. Good on Norm.
Yeah.
Okay, my number 4. I've always been a fan of the Dave England takes a shit in the hardware store sample toilet. I don't know about you, but when I was a kid, I was dragged to Home Hardware a lot. And you just wait for your parents to pick out the door frames that they're looking for, or the stained glass windows or whatever the hell they were buying at the home hardware. So, my sister and I would wander, and, we'd look at the toilets, be like, wow, that's a nice toilet. And then you'd sit on it and say, look at me, Well, Dave England did it for real in a real hardware store. He walks in with a newspaper, sits on the toilet, takes a shit. Somebody is watching, and he's like, you better not be taking a shit, or whatever he says to him. And he's like, sorry, I'm almost done. And the other funny thing is that they had to do this stunt. They had to do 2 attempts at it, because the first one, he had to go so bad. I'm sorry, I do. He had to go so bad that he went prematurely in the car, so they had to come back and try again. So that would I never did this. I did do water balloons, though. Scott Peddle and I knew a guy named George Balaz. Well, one day, Bob and we just filled up a whole bunch of water balloons and just hurled them at George's window. Anyway, that was my number 4.
Speaking of your number 4, I had a buddy who, back in college, used to work in Canadian Tire.
Okay.
He said you wouldn't believe how many times that used to happen.
Really?
Yep. He said most of the time it was kids, like little kids.
Okay, that I understand, but parents.
But he's like, yeah, like watch your kids more.
Right.
Because I almost caught one of our kids. We were going through a model home, and they just start pulling down their pants because they're in a bathroom, and I'm like, no.
They don't know.
Yeah, they don't know. They're like 2 at the time.
Like, what's the difference between that and any other public restroom that they've had to go to, right?
Well, you're in a house and we're just walking through a model home, and there's a bathroom right there.
There it is. That's
like,
what it's for.
So.
That's yeah. Anyway, why don't we? It's just after 8 o'clock, so we usually take a break at the halfway point. Why don't we do that? We'll play a song, and you know which one it's going to be. And then we'll come back and do our 3, 2, 1.
Perfect.
Okay. So, you know what song it is. In honor of the Meat Man. You were there.
I was there.
It was just one of those awkward moments of silence. And we heard a sound from down the hallway.
My wife made the comment.
It was your wife. It was Chris's wife. This man right here. It was his wife who made the comment. Is he peeing?
With the door open?
He was. And we love him to this day in spite of it and because of it. So in honor of you, Uncle Meat, here it is. ODP will be back in 3 or 4 minutes.
Just what was new, but the DJ is playing Motley Crue. I threw the damn thing down the stairs, seemed like the thing to do. Then I ripped the bloody door right off the loo. Because when your day starts just like this, an open door is. When I hear Nikki says an open door is. Don't care if you're not impressed, an open door is. Did I mention I was a house guest, an open door is. Heading out this evening to meet up with my boys. For a couple beers we'll make a little noise. I threw that telly on the floor, then caught shit from the man. So I made a beeline straight for the can. Because when your evening starts like this, an open door is. When Tom Brady leaves the Patriots, an open door is. Hey, I almost never miss an open door is. Everybody take a look at this, an open door is. Don't care about your rules, don't live my life to please you fools. If you don't like it, turn the other way. That's what I say. Like Disney Child writing songs with Kiss and open door is. Like 90s ballads from Aerosmith and open door is. When the Jays can't get no hits and open door is. When your socks they smell like this and open door is. When you just don't give a shit and open door is. I think you get the gist and open door is.
There you go. That'll bring back some memories for you.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so on to number 3. Your number 3.
So my number 3 was on Mr. Morwood's list. And it is, of course, the high five. And yes, it was Aaron carrying the soup. And the funny part about it was it hit him so hard it broke the tray. And the last one to get hit was Bam. And they antiqued Bam with flour.
That's right, antiquing. Yes, that's the other thing they do. Yeah.
And he's just
good one.
He's just laying on the ground completely white, like, what just happened?
Good one. Aaron's the punching bag.
Yeah.
He really is on that show. I really can't wait to see Jackass Forever, but I don't know if I want to go to the theater to see it. I don't know.
Yeah. I've seen it.
But the only versions I've seen online are really crappy cams.
Yes.
Okay, so we both.
I
Okay.
just wanted to see it.
You powered through it.
Yeah, barely.
I really wish I had gone to see Jackass 3 in the theaters because that's the one that was in 3D.
Yeah.
And the 3D at home, it worked after a fashion. It worked. It was the red and white lens, or sorry, the red and blue lens.
Yeah.
But there's nothing like movie theater 3D. But it worked, and there were some funny gags that worked really well in 3D, like when especially when stuff is flying in slow-mo and it's kind of moving like this.
The explosions with various rubber items.
Yes.
Flying right at your face.
Right at your face, and you can see like every jiggle of every cheek that it hit on its way across the screen. Yes. On to Michael Morwood's number 3. Awesome.
All right. Number 3. Number 3 at this point. I would say another broad one. This goes back to the Jackass show as well. But Bam beating the shit out of his dad.
Yes.
It's also another one that it just never gets old for me. Especially him beating him up on the toilet. They parodied that in Family Guy even. That was
and then he's like, he's losing it.
Getting crazy, man.
Crazy. If I had to pick one Bam's dad moment, it would be when he dug the pit in the lawn and then he
the
went
lawnmower
right into it with the riding lawnmower.
Yeah, it's pretty perfect.
The lawnmower one was better than the beat. There's still something about that bugs me,
Yeah, like it's funny, but not one of the top ones for me.
Yeah, definitely. But the lawnmower one, do you remember that?
Yes.
Was that in Jackass 2, or was that in the show, or Viva
I
La
think
Bam?
it was in one of the shows.
Where he basically dug a giant pit, covered it with sticks and leaves, and his dad drove right into it with the riding lawnmower. Because honestly, ever since seeing like movies like Rambo where they make like false floors and stuff like that, haven't you wanted to try that? Okay, so my number 3. Let me think about this a bit. Got to remember what it was. My number 3 is the rent-a-car crash-up derby. And this is one of those pranks where I'm talking about the person being really, really mad, and you know that they got compensated because a car was destroyed.
Yes.
So Johnny Knoxville walked into a car rental agency, declined insurance, which becomes a plot point later on in the film, rents a car, takes it to, I don't know, some kind of crazy body shop where they converted it into like a reinforced crash-up derby car.
They put a roll cage in it. And,
So Knoxville took it to they painted the number on it. They took it to the crash-up derby. Oh, and he had a blow-up doll on the passenger side. He got the car completely destroyed, and he returned it as is. And I remember as the guy is giving him shit for destroying the car, he goes, "But I returned it with the full tank of gas." Some of the other funny things that happened there where he hit a dog, he says.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Well, I was drunk." And, "Well, you're going to have to pay for it. You signed the contract." And he says, "Well, I was drunk when I signed that too." And then he leaves with maybe even 2 blow-up dolls, one under each arm.
He's got one
under
each arm.
"I'm going to go outside, but you guys got to figure this out."
Yeah.
And he takes off across the street. And then at that point, as the guys kind of chase him onto the street, you realize that the MTV crew writes them a check.
And then obviously, as soon as they cut, they probably just said, "Okay, here's the money for the cut."
Right. Definitely one of my favorite gags, and I think it was the opening gag of the first Jackass.
I think so.
Yeah.
So
again, I justify it by somebody getting compensated. And you know what? If it happened to me, I would have been furious at the time. But you're in a Jackass movie forever.
Yeah, exactly. You've got good advertisement now.
Yeah. I mean, and it's not like they responded in any unreasonable fashion.
No.
They responded rather reasonably to the entire thing, considering the ridiculousness of the condition the car was returned in. But I returned it with the full tank of gas.
So, speaking of blow-up dolls, reminds me of another prank.
Okay.
So this happened back in my college days when I was working construction. We were going to it was getting near the end of the summer, and they always had summer help, and I was one of them. And we were going to have a pool party at one of the guys' places. And they kept saying, "You bring in the date?" Yeah. What's her name? Jane Doe. And I just kept egging them on. And I got there, and there's a waist-high blow-up doll with a sign around her neck saying Jane Doe. And I go in the pool, and I'm using her as a floaty and all that. Whole night I had her with me.
Hello, you're on the LeBrain train.
Yeah, hi, this is Vince calling from Tony's Pizza. Your pizza's out for delivery, but we're having problems with your credit card.
Oh, really?
Well, somebody placed an order 20 minutes ago. 3 medium cheese pizzas. They're coming for delivery. They're out right now.
Yeah, that's right. That's me. 3 medium cheese pizzas. That's what I ordered. Yes.
I don't know. Maybe somebody else in the house ordered it. I don't know.
No, I ordered it. That's what I'm telling you.
The pizza's got to be paid for.
Yeah, I agree. Just like Bam had to pay for the car rental.
It's $26.81 plus tip. You want to try another credit card?
That's cheap. $26.81. That's pretty cheap.
Can we change that to $6?
Yeah, can you?
No, he's gonna come soon. You gotta have to. You sort it out with him, okay? The pizzas are not refundable.
Oh, no, I don't want a refund. I want the pizzas.
You've just been pranked.
There you go.
$26 for 3 medium
That's
pizzas.
not bad.
I will take that all day long.
Yeah. The only thing is that I really, in real life, I would not order just 3 cheese pizzas. So I gotta have toppings.
I have kids, so 1 cheese pizza for them, and then.
Oh yeah, for kids, yes. But I remember going to Pizza Hut with you for their lunchtime buffet, and you like your pizza one way with cheese and pepperoni. And what did they have? Nothing of that afternoon.
Oh, nothing like wolfing down. What was it? They finally came out with like 15 minutes before we left. So I wolfed down like 14 of like the half slices in like 10 minutes. Get back to the office.
Yeah, that's basically what happened. And it's like, well, Chris, do you want some pasta or some bread? Or like, no, I'm not filling up. I'm not wasting.
It's Pizza Hut. You're supposed to have pizza. Bring out some real damn pizza.
Anyway, after your story was so rudely interrupted by a prank call.
So, yeah, it was like, and the funny thing about this blow-up doll is it had a cup holder in her head. And it was only waist high. It was actually perfect for around a campfire because it would just sit right beside you and you could put your beer in her head.
You just don't want to get too close to the fire.
No. But it was at the end of the night they pulled the plug and they started it started leaking and I'm like, no, Jane, and I'm holding it flat in my arm. Why did the good die young?
Naughty boy. All right, where were we? Are we into number 2? Your number 2, I believe, is where we are. Your number 2 jackass prank.
My number 2 is, this one is actually almost tied with number 1 for me.
Okay.
It is something with Phil. It is where Preston switched places with Phil at night.
Yep.
Called the switcheroo.
That was Jackass 3, I think.
2.
Oh, it was? Okay.
Yes. And
that was funny.
Just Preston trying to just nudge April just a little bit, not trying to do much. Because I think he was pretty nervous about it.
Well, you would be too.
He's like, okay, I got to just go for it. He rolls right over, and she's like, Phil, get off of me. Leave me alone.
And she sees his face.
And then he all of a sudden says something like, what? And she screams, she's like, Phil? And she loses it, falls out of the bed. And after, Bam's like, hey, Mom, did he feel any fatter, any different? And she goes, he felt smaller. And Phil had the best line and goes, you felt that part?
Phil had a great sense of humor about that stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I guess you had to.
Yeah, and I've been watching a lot of like the interview because for Jackass Forever, Steve-O had a lot of the original Jackass guys on his podcast. So I was watching a lot of them. And that's what they said is Phil is actually a really tough guy. And at any minute, he could have taken Bam out.
Just flattened him.
Yeah,
Bam's not a big guy.
No. And Phil is really, really strong, apparently. And he could have laid him out anytime he wanted. But he was just always a good sport. You never
saw Phil really respond physically to anything, although he did prank Bam in return quite frequently on Viva La Bam. Mm-hmm. That whole show was basically pranking. Like you remember, I think they stranded Don Vito in Addis Ababa or some crazy place like that. They were all going on a trip and they gave Don Vito tickets to the Middle East. They did some good pranks on Viva La Bam, but again, not everything. Not everything. He went too far on numerous occasions.
Yes.
Phil and April are so tolerant as parents. Indeed. Indeed. They're showing up numerous times on this list, which just goes to show you how popular those pranks are. So here's Michael's number 2.
All right. Well, if I'm gonna, I gotta do another Bam's dad bit. I gotta do the crocodile in the kitchen.
That was more his mom.
Oh, I guess it was more his mom. But
remember, it was the whole thing was he was going to try to make April say the word fuck.
The word fuck before the end of the movie. So I guess it's both of them. But he gets both of them pretty good there.
That was great. And if you haven't seen it, oh my God, that's in the first Jackass movie.
Yeah. Honestly, for me, Bam has the best pranks throughout the movies.
Yeah,
they're usually, in my opinion, the funniest. Like for my number 2, again, it's got to be a Bam prank, and it's got to be the firework wake up.
Again, his dad.
It's just the reactions from him are priceless. They don't get any better than him. The other guys, like they'll do like obviously I love the snake prank that they do with Bam.
Oh my God,
that's a runner-up. But the pranks with his parents are always going to get me every time. They never fail to make me happy.
There's always like a cruel and comedic twist to them that makes them somewhat cute in a bizarre, twisted way.
In a bizarre way, definitely. They are a little bit cute in a bizarre way.
Yeah,
almost a little bit wholesome.
Almost. He was just trying to help his dad make sure he was awake for work.
Yeah. I'm sure he was still awake though when he entered the van.
Oh my God! And then the fireworks. Yeah, it started with fireworks in the bedroom, and then he got up. He was a baker. He worked in a bakery.
Yeah,
and he had to get up at like 4 in the morning.
4 in the morning,
and he gets into his van and more fireworks. And I think Bam was hiding in the garbage pail next in the driveway or something like that.
I've always wanted to replicate that one myself. That's one I've always wanted to do myself because I know all you really need is some lady fingers in a pot.
Yeah, and I know an Eric Litwiller who sleeps in a car at Sausage Fest.
Oh, I've done my fair share of throwing fireworks at Zach. That's who I know it drives him nuts, but it's hilarious. I remember when Seb and we almost synced up fireworks to a song once. We got them to go off right at the end. I forget which song it was, but I remember Zach just got up and left. He just couldn't be around it. He just got up and left.
It's on video the one year that we were shooting off the fireworks. And you can actually see Zach get up off of his chair and just
take off. Yep.
Yeah, it's on the video.
That's too funny. Poor Zach. Poor Zach.
Every prank requires a victim.
Oh, and Zach is usually the funniest.
Indeed. I do want to say one thing though. And because I've thought about this a bit. The snake prank with Bam. Bam's obviously got a lot of problems these days. Yeah. And I think he's gone on record as saying that snake prank was quite bad.
Yeah.
You know, he has a legitimate, serious fear of snakes. And I think with the benefit of 2020 hindsight and knowing what happened to Bam over the years, that prank did go too far. There should be lines, and phobias are serious, you know. That's just my opinion now as a 49-year-old guy. I don't know how you feel.
I like it.
I like it too. I just feel differently now.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's tough because, you know, I legitimately think it's funny when he's in they also put him in they did 2. They put him in a pit of snakes in one, and then there's one where he's in a horse trailer. And I remember there's a funny bit where he's like legitimately crying, and Johnny Knoxville says, "Would you like a Shirley Temple?" And Bam goes, "Yeah." And it's like a legitimately funny moment, you know?
Yes.
So I think there's 2 sides to that coin. On the other hand, we are all responsible for our own lives, and you can't blame Johnny Knoxville for anything that's Bam's going through today.
Yes.
That's a fact. Anyway,
yeah,
I've preached enough.
All of them have had their demons.
Yes.
And all of them, except for Bam, has relatively beat them.
Johnny Knoxville should have been dead, really.
Yeah.
Steve-O probably could have been dead. Steve-O's the most remarkable one in a lot of ways. Like, he's completely clean. I believe he's vegan. He's an animal he's an animal rights activist. This is the guy that used to be on Wild Boys, which some people would have considered animal cruelty.
Yes.
but I enjoyed Wild Boys. In fact, I preferred Wild Boys over Viva La Bam because Viva La Bam became, especially later, overly scripted. But Wild Boys always had that element that you are in nature and you are seeing a country that you've never experienced yourself. You know,
Yes.
that's my personal taste. I kind of wish I didn't. Oh, we should address this real quick. I don't know if you know who the Island Boys are. They're a really, really, really bad musical duo from Florida. They got those weird cornrow, or not cornrow, corn dog. What's that?
We're the Island
We're
Boys.
the Island Boys. Rick Coach points out that Steve-O recently endorsed the Island Boys, and I'm disappointed. I'm truly disappointed. He did. Rick Coach is a huge fan of the Island Boys, and he showed me their newest video. There's 3 of them now, and the lyrics to the song goes, "We're the Island Boys. Now there's another one."
They just repeat the same stuff over and over.
And then the new guy comes up to the microphone and he says something that is completely incoherent. You can't understand a thing of it. He goes like up to the microphone. And he goes like, "Yeah," and that's it.
Yep.
There, yeah. Anyway, my number 2. I this was kind of tied for me with the Rent-A-Car Smash-Up Derby. It's another Knoxville prank. I thought about it a lot, and I rated this higher because I don't know. Chris, I'm going to confide in you, man. I find something pretentious about those golf guys. You know? Do you know what I'm talking about? Like, how serious they take it? It's a game.
My buddy's dad used to do almost the same thing every time he drove by a golf course.
The air horn. So in this prank, Knoxville and a couple of the other guys, I think Dave and maybe Aaron, are hiding in the bushes at a golf course. And every time a guy is about to take a drive, they blow off this air horn and the guy inevitably flubs the drive.
Yeah.
They get a golf club thrown at them at least twice. When they can get confronted by the golfer, Knoxville says, "I have bursitis and it helps," to blow off the air horn. Now, I had to look up what bursitis is, but I believe it's a form of arthritis.
Yes.
So they nearly got their ass kicked on the golf course. Now, I want to also, at this point, bring in a Tom Green prank that is very similar. One of my absolute favorite pranks in the entire history of the Tom Green show is when there's a girls' soccer game, and he is dressed in soccer gear, and he's got a ghetto blaster on his shoulder, and it's playing like some soccer anthem. And he's running onto the field and he's kicking the ball and he's interfering with the game and he's playing this ridiculous song on this ridiculous radio and he's running circles. I find it hilarious. I really. Could it be? Hello, you're on the LeBrain train. Do you know this song? Does this mean anything to you?
Nothing.
Oh. Hi, Lori. Hi, Lori. Okay, I'm going to hang up now. I don't know what that was. Thank you, who's ever calling into the show. And Harrison does bring up a good point. They can't all be pretentious snobs, but I think there are some that give off that, what I'm going to call an aura.
Yes.
So that's my number 2, the one where Johnny Knoxville's blowing the air horn at the golf course and nearly gets decapitated by a club.
And the golfers actually turn on them, tee up a ball, and drive a ball at them.
He takes a drive right at them. Yes, he does. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. A little bit of the old vice versa. All right, well, this takes us into the...
And if you're going to pull a prank like that,
you got to
be prepared for.
And of course they were. I mean, Knoxville he's taken golf balls probably to the nuts in other pranks. So not pranks, but stunts. There's a line between the two. Okay, so Chris, this brings us into the number 1 position.
The number 1. This is another Phil and April prank.
Okay, your number 1 is a Phil and April.
Yeah. This was on 3D.
Okay.
Bam dressed up as a gorilla.
Very similar in taste to the alligator prank.
Yes.
Except it's a human.
Yes. And just totally destroys the whole hotel room.
Yes.
And everyone's
yeah.
screaming, and they're trying to, like, oh, calm down, and just lay down on the ground and make yourself look small. And what made the prank the funniest is everyone's out of the room. The gorilla had come out and revealed that it was Bam. And then all of a sudden it's like, where's Phil? And they go back in there. Oh, I had to take a wicked shit. Like he's like mid shit.
Which, yeah, that was the icing on the cake.
That was what made it the funniest for me. Just that little spot.
Yeah.
That just tenfold, it literally scared the shit out of him.
It was, that made it. Okay, that justifies the number one. Absolutely. If you were to defend your choice of a number one, that would be the defense right there. Excellent. I will point out that although Bam might have been seen as very abusive to his parents, he also did very nice things to them, like when he had Billy Idol play a private concert for April on her birthday.
Yes.
And I do remember he picked up Billy Idol at the airport in his purple Lamborghini, I believe. And Billy Idol makes a comment to him, and I'm sure it's all scripted, right? But Billy Idol goes, I was kind of expecting you to have like a convertible or a sunroof, being in America and everything. And Bam's like, oh yeah, you want my Lamborghini to have a sunroof? No problem. And he takes a fucking chainsaw and cuts off the roof of his Lamborghini. So that was not a prank, but that was just part of the whole Billy Idol thing. And that's just one of the things that he did for his mom. His mom loved Billy Idol. And so he had Billy Idol come and play a private show, which is pretty cool. So viva la Bam.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to Michael's number one jackass prank.
Number one, Terror Taxi.
Yes.
It's just got so many layers. It's just layers upon layers upon layers.
It's true.
And
there's this.
There's the beard and the trunk, and it's just too good.
And the fact that it's I can't remember his name, but the guy from Broken Lizard is the taxi driver.
Yes, he is. Oh, what is his name?
He plays Officer Ramathorn. That's the
yeah.
guy.
I know exactly who it is. I just can't think of the guy's name, but too good.
Yeah.
That yeah. I don't know if it's very politically correct for our climate now, I guess, but
no.
they couldn't do that again. But man, it makes me laugh.
Can you imagine? Oh my God.
If that was in Jackass Forever, it canceled immediately. There wouldn't be getting out of that for them.
And my number one is Terror Taxi. And I kind of went with it for the same reason as Michael. He used the word layers.
Yes.
I found it to be just a very big prank. It was epic. It was at the very end of the movie, or close to the very end of the movie. And I think we've discussed it plenty tonight, but it seems to be a very popular one. All three of us picked it.
Yeah.
Chandrasekhar. Yes. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Max the Axe. We played, no, we didn't play any Max the Axe yet. Maybe we'll play some Max the Axe to go out on. That's what we'll do.
You want to know how they actually got it so that they could have some of these really edgy bits in there?
No, I have no idea.
Steve-O actually said how they got some of these edgy bits in there is they know they're always going to cut so many bits that they say these have gone too far. So they'll always film a couple bits
that go even further.
They know there's no chance that they'll ever make it on the movie because they're the bits that'll get cut. And then the ones they want to be on the movie get a pass because they're like, well, we're not cutting 6 bits out. How about we just cut these 4? And they get to keep the 2 they actually wanted to keep.
I recall that story now.
Yeah.
I recall that. I wanted to talk runners up because I have a few. Michael has a few. I don't know if you do.
I do.
Okay. I want to mention a couple as my brain took a fart because I don't have any notes. So maybe we'll go over to you.
So my runners up and are the two snake ones.
Okay.
Because they are funny just because like it is playing on someone's fears. And it's just funny when they go, Bam, are you crying? Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Would you like a
the
Shirley
other
Temple?
one is from Jackass Forever.
Okay.
The Silence of the Lambs.
See, I haven't seen it, so you're gonna have to describe.
So they tell them that there's a diamondback rattlesnake in this container, and they turn the lights off and they pretend that it's loose in the room, like, and everyone, like, it is pitch dark and everyone's tripping over each other because they think this snake's actually in the room, and it's like the that nighttime dodgeball they did with the medicine balls.
Oof.
Where it's just carnage.
Yeah, pitch black.
And the icing on the cake on that one is when they finally find where the door is, they open it up and they've got like frying pans and stuff hanging down. So you come flying out the door and just run headfirst into frying pans.
I remember that. I remember that. I will mention one from Viva La Bam that I liked. And it might have even been in the same episode as the one where they put the iron on hamburgers on Phil's clothes. But there was one episode, and Bam's always been very concerned about his father's health and his weight.
Yeah.
He went around to every restaurant, every fast food joint in town, and said, if this man comes placing an order for food, decline the order. So Phil and Don Vito go driving around town looking to get anything anywhere, and every restaurant turns him down. I thought that was really funny. He couldn't get a bite to eat anywhere. And then some band played at Bam's house that night, and they played a song about Phil is fat, don't feed Phil. That was a good one. In Michael's runners-up, we talk a little bit about stuff like the bad grandpa pranks, where Johnny Knoxville dresses up as the grandpa. I like the one where Spike Jones is dressed up as either a grandpa or a grandma, and he's on a scooter that loses its brakes and goes straight down like a really steep hill. And then he gets to the bottom, and somebody says, "Are you okay?" And he's like, "Yeah. Can you push me to the top again? I want to try. I want to go again."
I like the one bit from 3.5 where it was an outtake and you just see Spike come flying by almost out of scene and he hits something and they're like, Spike, we're filming in front of here, not there. You didn't even get the shot.
Yeah, it's just like background stuff. Jesus. Hello, you're on the LeBrain train.
Hey, you, can you stop calling me? Why do you keep calling me?
People are doing well tonight. Thank you. I just remembered the other one I want to talk about, and I think it's from the TV show. And it's one of the very rare instances where they had a celebrity, and it was Brad Pitt. They had Brad Pitt standing in line at a movie theater, at which point a van with the Jackass guys all wearing ski masks pull up and kidnap Brad Pitt, pull him into the van and drive off. And somebody's like, yeah, 911, this is going to sound really weird, but a van just pulled up and kidnapped Brad Pitt. Thought that was great. Very, very creative.
They actually had to let 911 know.
I'm sure.
This was a prank because it was real 911 calls.
I am sure. Semi-prank, not really a prank, but it had to be for some of the people in the store that were shopping, but the boxing match between Knoxville and Butterbean, or anytime they went into a store, really, which is quite frequently in BAM stuff. There's one where they like went charging in like knights.
Yeah.
A lot of the stuff, even into the first Jackass movie, a lot of that stuff was filmed separately by BAM's crew. I think they were based out of Pennsylvania or something like that. Somebody will correct me, but and then there was like a crew in LA with Knoxville and Steve-O. You know, a lot of that stuff is combinations of two crews filming separately.
The one thing I like about the department store boxing was the first thing the first thing Johnny Knoxville says is Butterbean okay?
Knoxville was seriously concussed. I found out from
Yes.
that, like seriously concussed. Like he wasn't right for a while.
Yeah, because he was. They were saying like the noise he was making was him actually trying to swallow his own tongue.
Yeah, they were worried about that. They had to check his. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but you got to admire these guys, and I say the same thing about Mick Foley. That they are entertainers. This is what they want to do to entertain. They want to give. They love the reaction. They want to do it. They might regret it later. I don't know. But I mean, Knoxville certainly. There was the one episode with the golf cart where they were doing like the golf cart racing through and Knoxville's turned over and he broke. I think he broke his collarbone. I'm not sure.
Something like that. Yeah. He was seriously hurting that. They're yelling like.
Yeah, like he could have died.
Touch him. Yeah.
There's one of many times that he could have died.
Yes.
All right. Well, let's hear what Michael's runners up are, and this kind of wraps up some of the Tom Green talk as well.
I have a couple stunts I want to mention too, because they do mess with the public a little bit. And these guys, these were on my list, but Night Monkeys 2 with Brad Pitt. I just think that is the most hilarious circumstance, getting Brad Pitt to do this ridiculous scene. Any of the like the Night Monkeys are great, the Day Monkeys and the Pandas through Tokyo. Every time.
Wee Man.
Yeah, with Wee Man. Yeah. Every
Actually,
time.
They're cute. They're cartoony, but the Wee Man and Preston public pranks where it's like they exchange the fat guy for the little guy.
Yeah.
I like those.
They're not mean-spirited, which I do like. And not to say that the mean-spirited ones can't be funny, like Terror Taxi is definitely a mean-spirited prank.
But according to all reports, Aaron McGahey probably had it coming.
Oh, without a doubt. And I gotta mention the golf carts as well. I gotta mention the golf carts. I'm ripping up the golf course.
Nice. Now I'm not revealing to you my list yet. You're gonna have to wait until the show.
Sure.
But I also think Johnny Knoxville deserves a pat on the back for the bad grandpa character.
Oh yeah.
Which began with Jackass and turned into its own spin-off movie.
Of course.
But like things like him with the rubber testicle hanging down the side of the leg.
Yeah.
that's funny.
That's too good.
That is funny. So big thank you to Jackass for inspiring today's list show. But I also want to point out the fellow that made some of this stuff possible, which would be Tom Green.
Yes.
Back in Ottawa in his original K-Classic days.
Oh, Tom Green.
Now, did you ever see the one where he pranked his parents by drawing by
painting his house plaid? Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen it. That's too good.
Without Tom Green, there would be no Bam Margera. I'm a firm believer.
No, absolutely not. And he still holds up to this day. Anything Tom Green has done usually will make me laugh in one way or another, whether it's Freddy Got Fingered or his original bits. Yeah.
I'll tell you a story before we go. Obviously, I know you through your uncle Tom.
Yeah.
And when I moved into this place, when I first moved in over 20 years ago, I invited him over for a movie. And there was only one that he wanted to watch with me. It was Freddy Got Fingered. Daddy, would you like some sausage?
Daddy, would you like some sausage?
So there you go. It runs strong in your blood.
Yeah, you know what? This is the same thing for me. He did the exact same thing to me. I didn't discover that movie. I walked into his house one day and he handed it to me. He said, "You gotta watch this." And he sent me home with it.
And he was right.
Yeah, and that was quite the watch with my dad. I think I was probably 12. It was the 7th or 8th grade. I saved the day.
Look, it's a bag of jewels. It's jewels.
You could put the cheese in your bum.
There's too much cheese on this sandwich. How am I supposed to eat that? You could put the cheese in your bum.
You could put it in your bum.
Put the cheese in your bum. For those of you who haven't seen it and you think we're losing our minds, watch on your local neighborhood streaming service. Watch Freddy Got Fingered with Tom Green, the originator, in my opinion, of the modern prank show. Michael, thank you so much for joining me for this.
Of course, Mr. Ladano.
I can't wait to run these little clips on April the 1st when this episode will run.
That'll be great. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, man. There you go. Some good runners up there, and some credit to the Tom
Speaking
Green.
of one more prank that,
Yep.
that this all reminded me of was actually on a TV show on a sitcom, but it was hilarious.
Okay.
It was something that I would so pull.
Okay.
It was on How I Met Your Mother, and it was a flashback on how Marshall got his car.
Okay.
And his brother's like, okay, you can have this car, but you have to go get us all coffee at the coffee shop. So he goes to the Tim Hortons, whatever, and he gets there, and it's like, oh yeah, I'll have eight large coffees. And they're like, oh yeah, some guys just came and bought all of our lids and trays. And so he's got 8 coffees on the dashboard of his car. And he starts taking off, and you just see someone pop up and scare the crap out of him. He slams on the brakes, and all the coffees go right on him.
Oh, I know a Jen who wouldn't find that funny. Sacrificial coffee. Oh, that's funny. I wanted to, as a segue out of what Michael was talking about there, I wanted to highlight Tom. We just mentioned Tom, who pranked me on April 1st of, I'm going to say about 97. He was working in the Waterloo location of the record store, and I was working in the Fairway Road location of the record store, when Tom phoned me up and said, Mike, I got a lady who's got a huge order here of country CDs. Can you see if you have any of these titles? Like, yep, no problem. Get the phone, cordless phone, walk over to the country section. I'm like, shoot. And he's like, Tanya Tucker. And I'm, Tanya Tucker? Nobody ever asked for Tanya Tucker. It's like, I got a whole section here. And I was like, yeah, I got like 4 different Tanya Tucker albums. He's like, I want all 4. Okay. I'm like, really? You don't have any Tanya Tucker in stock? He's like, no, man, I don't have that kind of stock. I'm like, okay. It's like, it's Waterloo. We don't have that kind of stock in Waterloo. I'm like, really? Anyway, goes to the next artist, and it's some shitty, like, Tracy Lawrence. I'm talking country stuff that was notorious for being shelf warmers, just sitting there for years. The price tags were old and decrepit, right? So I grab all these discs. I'm going to say about 20, 25 off the shelves. Then you got to go back and you got to grab the CDs and put them in the cases. Then you got to take each one by one out of inventory. Then you got to package them up, put them in a box. Tom called me back an hour later. He's like, yeah, happy April Fools.
Oh.
Fucking asshole. Fucking asshole. Oh,
that's a good one.
So then I had to re-enter every CD, reprice them all with the new inventory number, stick the case back on the shelf, and put the disc back on the wall. That was Michael's Uncle Tom. Thank you. Thank you, Tom.
Perfect, Frank. Perfect.
It really was like he did me a favor in a way, in that all those CDs looked really gungy, and at least I had a chance to like put new price tags on the cases and clean them up a little bit. But yeah, that was like a lot of work. A lot of work.
The ones that have about 5 price tags over top of each other because you keep reducing the price.
Or even worse, like just scrappy remnants of layers of price tags that you could never peel off except for some Goo Gone.
Yep.
Oh man, well, this show actually went a lot longer than I thought it would. I underestimated ourselves, but well done, my friend. I had a blast. This was great. I have one more prank to go out on. Good for him. He sucks. I have one more prank to go out on, and this is going to be the first time I've ever played this clip in this form. You will understand what I mean when you see it. This is the getting my ass kicked in the CD suit prank.
Wow. Who thought this was a good idea to make?
You gonna take some stills at all?
If you'd like me to.
I think you should take some stills too.
This is
Take some stills.
There we go.
It's I'm stuck.
Uncalled for, my friend.
Did you get that?
I did.
Okay, let's see some of these.
That is the first and last time I'm ever playing that clip.
That's just a walking billboard for kick my ass.
For kick my ass, and that's exactly what happened. And I never wore it again. And as the guy said in the video, who thought this was a good idea to make? Well, thank you for joining me tonight. We're gonna play a Max the Axe song to go out on, I think. Do you have a favorite? Do you have a pick at all?
They're all good.
They're all good. All right. Well, you know what? Just because it's prank night and it doesn't matter, let's play Oktoberfest Cheer. All right. Well, thanks for joining me, Chris. Why don't we do this again with a Tom Green themed show?
Okay.
All right. Well, then I shall see you on the flip side. Have a great night. Say hi to Lori and the kids for me.
I will.
All right. Take care. This is Max the Axe with Oktoberfest Cheer. Have a good night, everybody. Oh, and I'm taking a break next week. So we'll see you in a couple weeks, maybe 3. Have a good night, everybody.
October,
Welcome, Nighthawks. We've been expecting you. The hour's late, but the party is just getting started. I'm Alistair Kovacs, your host for a sophisticated little soiree with jazz, stimulating conversation, beautiful ladies, more jazz. Look, it's Charlie, sincerely one of the best white non-union jazz pianists in the entire city, top 5. Charlie, play some of those notes you know I like.